classified staff?
Hmm. So I would say, this is a hard one.
Just a rough estimate is fine.
I would say it's probably half and half.
Hmm.
Um, it's at least close to half and half.
Okay, and here's the last one.
All right.
Okay, what would you say are some of the defining characteristics of special collections?
Oh, do you mean like what makes UCLA different from other special collections, or what makes special collections different from other parts of the library?
What makes UCLA's special collections better than the rest?
Being distinct from, is it like how do we? Is it from the rest of the like how are we different from the rest of our colleagues at UCLA, or is it like how are we different from the SC?
Um,
It doesn't say. It
no,
doesn't.
it doesn't. But either one is fine.
Well, let me just say that we're different or we're distinct in that, um, well, as the name would suggest, our collections are special, right? And sometimes they're special because they're unique and not available elsewhere. Sometimes they're special because they're part of a broader collection that people can use to sort of understand information within a broader context. Sometimes they're special because they're incredibly financially valuable, um, so otherwise rare. And because of that, sort of how we end up treating them, treating our materials, varies from other parts of the library. And then there's also this whole archival thing that no one else in the library does, and this sort of format stuff that is fairly exclusive to our realm, and and the methods that we use to treat archival collections would be far different than say what any cataloger, normal cataloger would do.
Right.
So things like that. Does that
Okay.
does that kind of get at it?
Yep. Also, okay, I guess this is my own personal question, but what has been your favorite, I guess, collection or exhibit?
Ever or here?
Mm, here.
A little easier for me, but so let me just think about. Well, here, so the truth is, in my position, I don't get to work with the collections very much. However, I have on a few different occasions, and I guess the thing I've been most excited about since I've been here is that we have. Do you know the writer Susan Sontag? She was like a sort of feminist icon, this writer from the maybe late 50s, and then she died in 2004. But anyway, she's a really, really big deal, in, really a big deal U.S. public intellectual. And UCLA acquired her papers in 2001, and then she died in 2004. So we got another installation of them in 2005 or 2006. And then we got a call from, this was actually really interesting. I got a call from her literary agent, which is a guy named Andrew Wiley, who represents like something like 600 you know, of the finest writers, in the world. And anyway, so he still represents her on behalf of her son. And so he said, well, they found some more material. Are you interested? And so there's a whole long negotiation. We ended up buying this material, and so we sort of had to settle on that. But then what's really exciting about it is that in the course of talking to her son about this collection, I asked him, did his mom use a computer? And he said, well, yeah, actually I have, the two hard drives from her final, the hard drives from her final two computers,
Mm-hmm.
right right in this room. I said, well, I'd be really interested in that. And so we had a prolonged negotiation about that as well. But I'm really excited about these for two reasons. One is that the content of it is really good. I think it's the best document in the last 10 years of her life. It's better than the paper materials that we took in
There's a lot of personal
previously.
writings.
Yeah, it's like in a lot of correspondence, and her email actually is really
Wow.
appealing. But then I'm also really excited about the format. The field is going in really, it's not going fast enough, but it really needs to go in the direction of being able to deal with what we call born digital archives. And acquiring this material, it's just going to really force us to develop in those ways. And that will, the work we do on this collection is just going to set a foundation for us to get better over the course of, the next, several decades, I think. So that part's exciting. I think it's a real opportunity to do a cool project.
Right.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, I think that's it.
Yeah. So, and just tell me a little bit about your story. Did you just start? You started the program in the fall. And
Um,
how are you liking the program? And it's a new program, right?
right. Well, they just started the program. They're classifying it as summer of
Oh.
2013,
Uh-huh.
and yeah, it's completely online, which, you know, because it's this, I guess we're the first class, so there've been a lot of, I guess, technical problems, and
Mm.
but everybody's just trying to, keep together. So far I have about 4 groups for 3 classes, so that's, yeah, that's been interesting, if I want to be positive about
And
it.
yeah. And so, who's your professor for this class?
I have 3. I have Brian Detlor, yeah, I have Ken Haycock and Professor Romaniuk.
Okay. And so it's funny because you get to know them online a little bit, but you never meet them in person. That's interesting. Um,
Right.
hmm. Yeah.
They have
Hmm.
some live sessions actually. They'll be on their computer and we can actually log on and also talk to them. That makes it
Uh-huh.
pretty interesting.
Hmm. And are they pretty accessible that way?
Yeah, they are. I'm just worried about the
Yeah.
the flexibility of the program. A lot of work.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It is. And so what kind of career do you? It's probably a little early to ask this, but what kind of career are you thinking you might want to have at that grade?
I would say I so far, since it is really my first 3 courses, um, I think I would love to be a reference librarian.
Mm-hmm.
it,
Great.
it it just it just seems like a really rewarding job, and I love doing research and just being in the library setting. Once I got out of YRL, I really missed it.
Uh, yeah, well, the same thing happened to me. I worked in libraries as an undergrad, and when I went to the career counselor, they said, "Well, what do you want to do with your life?" I said, "Well, I don't know. That's why I'm here." And then they said, where have you worked that you've enjoyed? And I said, "Well, I worked in a library." And they're like that. They were like, "Well, yeah, well, I should become a librarian." And at the time, I thought, "Wow, I don't want to be a librarian. I don't think it's planted a seed." And I said, "Well, maybe I do want to be a librarian." And in fact, apparently, I did. But so here's the one piece of advice I will give you, and I'm a little worried about online courses, the extent to which it's a little harder than residential courses. But you should try to do as many internships and work experiences and things as you can while a student, because I think there's really important theory and really important things to learn about libraries, but we remain an applied profession, and so when you go out on the job market, people are going to want to know that you've demonstrated skills in other settings. So hopefully that they will develop some infrastructure for helping you do that, and maybe you can do some of that work. I know it's an online course, but maybe as part of USC they can give you some connections on campus if you're able to do it, but you really want to develop some sort of like practical professional experience as well as the coursework.
Definitely. Yeah, I would love an
So
internship.
yeah, um, so and try to do that as even if I'm sure that they'll have some experiential learning built into this program. If they don't, they're crazy. But like try to do as much as you can outside of it, and you probably have a job and you're doing this as well, and so it might be hard, but to me that's a really important part. That remains a pretty important part of education because when I'm reviewing applications, I do look and make sure the credentials are right, but I also want to make sure that people, have at least some experience
Right.
working in libraries that are relevant. And so, um,
Yeah, it's
so
very
keep an eye
different.
out for internships. Yeah.
It's different from what you learn in books and then what you actually do when you're in the library.
Yeah, it is, and there should be, the sort of like practical to the theoretical exists along
Mm-hmm.
a continuum. And I think if you're too practical without, the theoretical basis, then you're not a professional. And if you're too theoretical without a practical basis, then you're not useful. But, so the trick is to figure out how the theory informs the practice and vice versa. And but you can only get that through getting some actual different kinds of work experiences and things like that.
Right.
Mhm.
Thank you for the advice.
No, no problem, no problem. So, yeah, if you need anything else, just shoot me an email, and I hope it goes well. And definitely shoot me an email, and I can send a couple files your way that'll help you fill out some of what we talked about.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Good luck.
Thank you. Hope you have a good
All right.
night.
Yeah, you too. Okay, take care.
Take care.